You are now listening to Mike's Opinion. Logic Unleashed.
That's right. You are now listening to and watching the Mike's Opinion podcast. Hola, hello, how you doing? Aloha, bonjour, and all that. To all the people worldwide. Checking my analytics the other day. I'm worldwide, baby, and I have been. I've known that for a long time. Thank you to all the people around the world that are watching and listening, tuning in. I appreciate you. How are you doing? You know I always want to know how you're doing. Don't ask me how I'm doing. I could be better. I'm just going to put it like that, but the show must go on. Life goes on. I'm a strong man, and I'm going to keep on keeping on one day at a time. But I hope you're doing all right. I hope you are doing okay. I hope you're doing better than okay. I hope you're doing great. I hope the fall weather has started. It started here. Y'all know I'm from New York City, but I've been in Texas for a long time. I live in the Dallas, Texas area. And it cooled off for about 3 days, but it's about to be 100 degrees again. Summer says, I ain't done with you yet. I'm not done with you yet. That's what Summer said. And that's why one of the things that I like about the South is, there's a lot more warm weather. Now, I miss my New York, you know what I'm saying, the Thames, the leather joint, the quarterfield. Quarterfields, ain't nobody rocking those no more, right? But the bubble leather goose, you know what I'm saying? The cold weather gear, it's mad flavor, yo. Love that. I love that. And, I got a leather trench coat that's sitting in the closet. I don't really get to pull it out but a few days a year down here. You know, people be giving me the side eye like look like I'm a gangster or something. But I like it because it's warm. It's long and it's warm. It's fly too, though. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I hope you're doing all right. Today, I was going to do an update episode, but I'm going to say that because I was going to make this subject that I'm about to talk about part of the update. I said, no. I'm going to do a whole episode on this because it's going to be a short episode. I've been trying to cut them down. Like the last episode, life be lifing. It be getting in the way. My last episode was 9 minutes, shortest episode I ever did. Aside from my other podcast, the world's shortest podcast. And I haven't been really lighting that up. It's still out there. I really need to get back on that. But the back end of that, like where I was producing that, they switched and changed. So I got to figure all that out. But check it out. The world's shortest podcast. Anyway, so I'll do an update episode soon. That's one of my most popular episodes when I do the worldwide update. But last night, ooh wee, if you didn't watch, the presidential debate featuring ABC News as the moderators and Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, do yourself a favor and watch it. I know, politics never used to be this entertaining. For those of us that are even mildly interested, like I am not Mr. Political Dude, right? I go about my day to day. I am now a law abiding citizen. Can't say I always was, but and my wife might still disagree with that because having somebody else have authority, like you just another human, and I know we go through all these processes and make laws that we're supposed to abide by. First of all, I'm a black man in America. We should be exempt. I'm a direct descendant of slaves. We should be tax exempt, law exempt. We should be exempt. But I digress. I share values from all parties: independent, liberal, conservative. Okay. I think I agree with some of the things they all say. That's just me. I mostly have voted my conscience, you know, which has been mostly Democratic. Okay, I'll just put it out there. Um, it appears from this black man's perspective that the Republican Party has been and may still be less interested in me, my contributions, my opinions. They do want my vote, though, but haven't done a whole lot to do it. On the flip side of that, the Democratic Party takes the black vote for granted, like we got that. Like they just think it's automatic. I'm going into the booth, I'm just hitting Democratic, and I'm walking out. I haven't done that in local elections, statewide elections, national elections. Okay. This debate, I can't say I sit through whole debates. I usually do like I do a lot of sports. I'll catch the highlight reels, right? I'll watch, let other people watch it and give me, the highlights of what happened. I watched this whole debate last night for many reasons. First of all, we had Hillary. Remember the Hillary when Trump stalking her on stage? They had a live audience. They didn't have muted mics, and they were allowed to roam around. It wasn't the case in last night's debate. The mics were being controlled, not very well, in my opinion. They should have muted up Donald Trump a lot more than they did. There was no studio audience. Audiences affect the speakers. They also affect how points come across and how they are received, particularly by boos or applause. And an audience can be skewed and can be manipulated. You can fill an auditorium with all Republicans. You can fill an auditorium with all Democrats. You can attempt to fill an auditorium with undecided, but we all know they lean in one way or another. But listen, I watch because Kamala is a black woman. She's labeled as such. She is a woman. We haven't had many female presidential contenders. Okay. Also, I can't say I've had a lot of exposure to Kamala Harris. Of course, she's vice president. She was a senator, attorney general, blah, 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 blah. She's quite accomplished. And there have been some outlets that says she has word salad or she's incoherent. That is not the case. Hasn't been the case in the public appearances I've seen her at. Most recently, the Democratic National Convention, and now this debate. She seems lucid, sharp, competent, articulate, and together. She seems like she has her stuff together. Now, I've seen some commentary already about how she had exaggerated facial expressions. Did anybody look at Donald Trump's face? Because he was frowning and making all kinds of crazy faces. But I consider myself a perceptive individual, an attentive and detail-oriented individual. I know how to speak body language. Now, you got to keep in mind, these are career politicians, one in particular being Kamala Harris. As a prosecutor, attorney general, senator, vice president, and now presidential candidate. Trump, actor, real estate dude, wants to be president probably because he's bored. He likes the power, and he's done everything there is to do. Okay. He's been rich since birth. So you've done it all. What else can I do? Let me see. You know what? Maybe I'll run the country. Maybe I'll be the president. And he's been trying for a while. He succeeded once. As speculative, of course, I can't say I know for sure what his motivations are. I believe I know what they're not. They appear to not be really to uplift this country. He comes across like a selfish, spoiled person who just wants to say, nah, I'm president. That's how it seems to me. He doesn't seem like he has any genuine empathy or compassion or caring about other human beings. I like one of Kamala's common lines that she's only ever had one client, the people. Of course, that could sound like a bunch of BS, but that's what she's been doing. Now, if you really want to, I think, be for the people, I mean, as a prosecutor, you can be for the people, I guess, for justice. Put your cape on for justice. A lot of prosecutors have turned to public defenders, defending those that need defending. And I'm not talking about the guilty, But in my opinion, Kamala did the thing. She did that. Not only did she win, to me, she stomped him out. Now, this next thing I'm about to say is going to sound a little chauvinistic and a little weird, but I love women. I love women. Okay. Love my mama. May she rest in peace. The 1-year anniversary of her passing is coming up this month, and I'm sad about that. I have an episode about that if you want to listen to that. Rest in peace, Mom. I love my wife. I love my sister. I love my daughter. I love my grandkids, my granddaughters. I love women, period. I'm attracted to women. I was thinking about doing an episode on thirst traps. That's coming up though. Whew. But because I'll be falling victim. I fall right into the trap several times a day. I just scroll, usually when I'm handling business in the restroom. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the only time I have to do it. It's just little 2-3 minutes. But women can be manipulative. Human beings can be manipulative, but the female of our human species specializes in plucking that right nerve. They will go bing, boom, bing. Ugh. I'm just saying, if you've had any relationship with any woman, you know that can happen. It can happen. I'm not saying all women like that. I'm just saying it can happen. It appeared to me by the color of Donald Trump's face that Kamala plucked a few key nerves, because there was a couple of times you saw the flush, like he just wanted, like the head, top of his head could pop off and steam could come out of it. He looked like he wanted to just let loose. One key thing, I told you I'll read body language. Donald Trump didn't, and I watched the whole thing, and maybe I missed a couple, but I don't think I did. Donald Trump did not look at Kamala once. Didn't look at her. Kamala stared him down the whole debate. In fact, when the debate first started and they walked out, Trump didn't even acknowledge it. He went straight to behind his podium. Kamala walked over to him, put her hand out, said, Kamala Harris. She introduced herself to him. That's classy. That's fly. That's common decency. Common decency. Not to even include gender roles in that. Be a gentleman. You are, I don't care what you're doing. You're mud wrestling. You're having a debate. Before the debate starts, be a gentleman. You're supposed to be diplomatic. You're supposed to know about diplomacy, especially if you're trying to be the president of the United States or the president of anything. That's a prerequisite to be diplomatic. He was disrespectful from the jump. Then wouldn't look at her. You ever see somebody won't look at somebody? It's a reason for it. Typically, it's fear. So there's that. There were many instances where the moderators, and their names slip me at this time, ABC News moderators, if you watched any ABC News, you've seen these people. One man, one woman. I can't remember their name. But they try their best to hide their annoyance with Trump, over talking him, running over the debate time, being his normal, overly dominant, trying to be bossy. And I don't think he knows any other way because he's been that, right? He's been running things for so long. Excuse me. How dare you stop me, and this is what I'm talking about. They didn't manage those mics well because they had the ability to mute him and didn't. Now, there's this thing going around that the moderators fact checked. I won't say a thing going around. There were observations, and these are legitimate observations that they fact checked Trump. Of course, ABC News is most likely a liberal leaning media outlet, like a vast majority of them are, with the exception of a few, one of the main ones being Fox News. Interestingly enough, post debate, I'm hopping channels. Okay, I want to see what Fox News got to say. And I don't know if this Fox News commentator is going to have a job today, because last night she said Kamala did her thing. Kamala looked strong. I was surprised to see a Fox News commentator on a national Fox News program say that at the table she was sitting at. And all of her colleagues looked at her like, girl, you ain't going to be working tomorrow. You're going to be in the mailroom if you do have a job. Because they quickly countered, like, yeah. But it was obvious that Kamala Harris exuded class, intelligence, decorum, patience, and a variety of other positive attributes. Now, can she run the country? I don't know that. I don't know. Can she earn the respect of tyrants, dictators, and other world leaders? I don't know that. I'd like to give her the opportunity to try, because there are many other people behind the president. Okay. And I'm not just talking about the Senate. I'm not talking about Congress, because only half of them are with the president in most cases. I'm talking about teams of people you don't even know their names, that are behind the scene power brokers that keep these people in step, propped up, informed, energized, and focused. So I hope she has a powerful team. 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 I hope she has a po behind her. I think Bill Clinton had, I think it was Vernon Maxwell, if I think the name is correct. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Obama had Michelle, and I'm pretty sure he had his camp of people that stay out the limelight. You know, they do what needs to be done, and they're not looking for accolades. They're not looking for the spotlight. They're just looking to help the team. And that's what's up. Everybody needs people like that, especially if you are in any position of power. You know, we're all human, and we need that team. We need that support. And it's not like having a rock or a few rocks that you can depend on. Um, we all need those. So abortion came up. So I'm thinking about several instances where Trump was asked a specific question and he just took it back to immigration. Like several times. It wasn't the topic, it wasn't the question. He looked desperate. He looked angry. And as Kamala said, he wants to take us back to the past. And Kamala said, we're not going back. We're going forward. And I need to just say, I am not paid by anyone. Support the show. This you see this recording. I need all the stuff to produce a better podcast. I need to grow this show. I don't want to have to get sponsorship and read commercials, but I will. But I need the numbers to do that. So help me grow this show. And I know I'm digressing here for a second, but help me grow this show, please. Donate to this show. What are things you spend money on frivolously? I'm not asking for much unless you are rich, unless you are wealthy or have a great deal of disposable income. Then yes, send me a nice chunk. I'm safe. I'm honest. I'm true. I'm not trying to spend money on anything frivolous. Okay. I want to grow this show. So if you want my direct mailing address, just shoot me an email, mikesopinionshow@gmail.com. It's in the show notes or it's in the YouTube information below. You can Venmo me, Cash App, PayPal. Also have a GoFundMe out there. And I need to check and make sure it's still alive. But help me out. If you're not in a financial position to do that, and anybody can afford $1, so I don't know why you wouldn't be able to. But you can also do so in less than 60 seconds. Like, share, follow, and comment on any of the platforms that you get this podcast from. This podcast is free for you to consume. It is not for free for me to make. I have not put it behind a Patreon paywall, or any paywall. I haven't read a single ad, and I'd like to keep it that way, but I can't do it without your support. That's the way this works. So please support the show. I forgot what I was saying. So with Kamala, she seemed calm and smooth and confident. Trump didn't. He just seemed like the same old dude. Instantly after the end of this first debate, Kamala's camp said, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Great movie with Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby. Say what you want about Bill Cosby. He made some great stuff. Anyway, but I believe they need to do some damage control. But I think people, like I said, all those back behind the scenes people, I think they know that's not going to be good for Donald Trump because now, oh boy, Kamala's like, let's do it again because she is wants to sharpen that tool and get right back at it. So if Trump doesn't want to do it again, he's going to seem scared. He's going to seem like a bit cowardly. I don't want to face her again. She destroyed me in the first one. If he does do it, I suspect and I predict he's going to be more aggressive than he was the first time. If his camp is smart, and I'm not trying to help either camp here, but if his camp is smart, they will teach him how to be a gentleman. And I think they've tried that, but Trump gone Trump. I've seen him almost all the time go off, and I don't watch a lot of Trump stuff, but the stuff that I've seen, he goes off teleprompters. Usually these speeches are well pre-crafted, but he goes off because he can't help himself. He cannot help himself. And I thought she was going to push him to walk, like he was going to walk over and start swinging on her. And I wouldn't put that past him. He looked pissed at the stuff. She didn't call him a loser, but she called him inadequate. She called something. She used the term twice. Oh, let me see. I can't recollect what it was. That they should be ashamed of himself. And that wasn't the right word, though. But anyway, both times she used this word, his face got red and he made faces, and you could see he wanted to snap. But he didn't. Well, I mean, he kind of did when he wouldn't let the moderators talk, and the moderators, I heard one moderator just outwardly sigh like, and of course, excuse me, like I said, it's a Democratic liberal leaning network. So I will give Trump kudos for allowing a liberal or well-known liberal network, a network that's known to be liberal, to host. Just like I give him props, even though he was crazy disrespectful. I give him props for going to the black journalist thing a few months ago, and he said he thought Kamala was going to be there, and he was set up. I don't want to paint him as some victim because he's not. You know what I'm saying? He's not. But the chaos and the drama and the division that happens with him, which are all points that Kamala pointed out. Do we need that in a presidency? Oh, that's what I was saying. That I'm not paid by them. This is not a commercial for either candidate, even though it seems like I'm leaning towards Kamala. Taylor Swift did, though. Taylor Swift came out right after the debate was over and said, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. Something very interesting that I noticed that came out before the debate that Kamala happened to mention is that many Republicans, over 200 Republicans, are voting for Kamala, including Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney. Dick Cheney, the former Republican vice president. Says a lot when your squad turns on you and goes to the other side, right? I don't know that that's the case. As a informed voter, as informed as I believe that I am, I have doubts about both candidates. But with RFK, Robert Kennedy dropping out, I'd never thought Cornel West had a chance. If I have only these two candidates to choose from, as a black man, for many reasons, I cannot envision myself voting for Donald Trump. Okay. Even though my mother again, may she rest in peace, used to hang out with him. Hold up, hold up. I have my mother's personal recollections and photographic evidence. Okay. With Trump with his arm around my mother more than once. This is back in the 80s when Trump was cool with the brothers, was in hip hop videos. If you don't know that, do your research. Before these political aspirations arose, and he was just a billionaire real estate mogul doing him in New York City. Yeah. He been doing him for a long time. Long time. So who does that leave me? That leaves me with a candidate who was not tried and true, who I don't know, and I hate to say this, because of her gender, how she'll be received by the world leaders that we have to deal with and negotiate with. And if she will be just another career politician who makes these promises and doesn't deliver. Now, I understand, barring the executive order, which they do have the power of the executive order to get things done. It's a concerted joint effort. You need to get things through Congress. You need to get things through the Senate. You have to deal with the bureaucracy and the channels and the process, right? And you have to make sure that you are enforcing the will of the majority of people. Now, Kamala says she can go and bring groceries down, childcare down, make housing affordable. She's going to do all of these things that sound spectacular. But to see a smiling woman as president is refreshing to me, regardless of party. A woman who seems to have substance, conscience, and soul and empathy. Could it all be a facade and a farce? Of course it could be. I don't know Kamala Harris. I know very little about her history. From a prosecutorial standpoint, as a prosecutor, there was this theme going around that, she was just locking black men up. As it turns out, if my bit of research is true, that's not statistically correct. Holding people accountable on their BS is hard sometimes. But for me, and I'll digress here just a little bit, there's a lot of intelligent, educated, good black people in America. However, we are still a beaten, battered, and broken people. We used to be beaten just for trying to read a book. My point is, we are behind in development, in, I'd say literally, but I'll say virtually every aspect of life as a whole, as a people. Okay? We did not have access to literally anything. So when I see the news portray this black person, male or female, as being ignorant or being a criminal or being belligerent, You have to understand why. You say, yo, Mike, you're justifying bad behavior. No, I'm not. But there are reasons, legitimate reasons that these things happen. Okay? We are just getting a seat at the table. And I don't even know if we're sitting down yet. We might be in the room, a room where it happens. If you've seen Hamilton, you know what I'm saying. But you say, yo, there was a black president. One black president, and he's half black. And Kamala ain't really black. So I kind of understood when Donald was like, yo, I didn't meet her like that as a black person. She was Indian and Asian. Now she black. When did that happen? So I'm, hey, like I said, I'm a realist. I'm a truthist. You know, I'm a realist. So the 35 plus million black people, if there's that many, as a whole, we are the most incarcerated by percentage wise. Access to education has not been there for us for many centuries, for sure, decades, even good quality healthcare. Education. Multiple factors involved. So while as an older man, and by the way, if you see me looking homeless right now, I'm not. As of today, I'm not. But during the summer, I go baby face. I shave it all off. I thought it was getting cooler. The weather psyched me out. It fooled me. It was like, hey, we're gonna get cold. No, we're not. But anyway, I started letting my facial hair grow out. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, how I'm gonna style it, because it's so gray. It's so much gray, and I'm not doing it. I'm not dyeing it. I'm never dyeing my facial hair. I'm not doing it. Even though it would probably serve me well, because this is so gray. I can't do nothing like thin and light because you can't see it. Just look like what? What is that? So to do anything to represent the facial hair, it's got to be big enough, and I just ain't with that. Anyway, I may just shave it all off, just keep it that way. I don't know, but my wife likes me with facial hair, so she says. This debate should change some people's minds. If they are just not Republican for Republican's sake, if they are not laser focused on one particular issue that they happen to agree with Donald Trump on, if they are not a bigot or racist, if they are not homophobic, if they are not afraid of the LGBTQ, and listen, I don't agree with some of that as well. Okay, some of the transgender stuff and the biological males playing female sports and the restrooms and all of that. There's some of that I don't agree with either. I think some of it defies logic and common sense. And here, logic is unleashed. A lot of people keep they logic on the leash and they keep pulling it back. Nope, take mine off the leash. It's running wow. It's logical here. And some of it defies logic. So I'm not all in with some of the points and value of the Democratic Party either. There is no perfect party. There's no perfect candidate. As a lot of people like to say, it is the lesser of two evils. Okay? But recently, It has been said by, I believe, Donald Trump that Elon Musk will be the, I don't know, the government efficiency czar or some position where he will basically cut giant chunks like the Department of Education. Some of this stuff, you know, they make it complex. They make it excruciatingly detailed as so people won't understand. When in fact, boiling something down to its lowest common denominator, simplification, a lot of times is the goal in math. Simplify. So these decisions can be simple. Some of these major decisions, and you're not ever going to please everyone. Sadly, I wish we could. I really wish we could. But that would mean we would all have to be on the same page and have the same ideals and dreams and goals. And I think we all share some basic ones, right? Don't kill people. Don't be violent towards people. We all want to have a safe neighborhood, a roof over our heads, be able to go see the doctor, have food on our table. Basic stuff. Seems ridiculously simple. Even in a world with, 8, 10, 12 billion people, still a lot of space left on this planet. A lot of land mass left. We're getting smarter on how to use the sun for solar, how to use the wind, how to use the ocean, how to how to grow wholesome, quality food. Why this can't be something worldwide? Why some of these men run their countries so horribly? And I've thought about this. And the fact of the matter is, everybody's just not capable. They're just some idiots out there. And I don't, that sounds crass, but there's some people that are just evil, and bad. They're just some bad people. How do we get rid of those people? This debate was interesting. It was very entertaining. And for me, there was not only just a clear winner, but there was only one decent human being on the stage. Watch it. See what you think. Mike's Opinion Show at gmail.com is my email. I'm also on all the socials. You can reach out to me publicly or privately. I'd love to know what you think. Okay? Let me know what you think. You don't have to let me know who you're voting for. Just let me know who you think won this debate. Who came across better? Also, let me know, do you think they should do it again? I'd love to see them do it again. But time's running out. It's already September. Huh? I think the moderator said it's 56 days left. There's less than 2 months left until we're going to vote. And I don't know who or what you believe in, but I'm just going to say, may God bless us. January 6th happened. They talked about that briefly in the debate. If Trump loses, I hope, I pray that they will accept their defeat. If they have proof of cheating, because I've always said, since, I believe elections could always be manipulated, but once they went electronic, I think whoever's got the best hackers wins. That's really, real good hackers. They get in and out. You never know they were there. So there's a lot of people trying to make sure that the integrity of this election is solid, that it's scrutinized, it's evaluated, it's investigated prior to, and that it's a free and fair election. But bullies, spoiled people, they usually don't respond well when they don't get what they want. And one of the candidates is accustomed since birth to get what he wants. I thank you for listening and for watching today. I hope that you and yours are okay. I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope you're doing great. And support the show. I would really greatly be very thankful to you for doing so. I will see you next week. I'm Mike, and this is the Mike's Opinion Podcast.
Thank you so much for listening to Mike's Opinion. Logic Unleashed.